So first of all, congratulations on now being part of an Oscar nominated film.
Thank you.
How does that feel? Kind of like you're doing press for a rom com, which is so good and so sweet, but also like, is it on the back burner that you're like, I am now also part of an Oscar nominated film that changed how people are going to the movies?
Yeah, it's like one day is a Top Gun day and another day is an At Midnight day. It's like, you know, definitely going back and forth, but it's kind of also perfect because the my character in At Midnight is like in her own way going through press cycle type energy, big film world stuff. So it all feels very relevant. So, it works in the end. And it's all Paramount too, which is funny. So that makes it easy. It just
You
calls
just log in and you're like, which one? Which one Paramount? Which one am I
Hey
doing
Paramount,
today?
what's up? Yeah.
With this movie though, I was like shocked by how much of a rom-com it feels like and how much I missed that feel of the romantic comedies of the early 2000s and kind of like what a lot of us not grew up with because we were like teenagers, but like watched a lot back then.
Yeah.
And so for you, what was kind of the joy in getting to be a part of that and now be a part of this renaissance of romantic comedies coming back in the way that they are?
Well, I'd always wanted to be one, I think, like, because we were sort of raised with them. And they were like 90s too. And when Harry Met Sally was an older, and I think I had also watched like Roman Holiday and Philadelphia Story and things like that. And so it just is this thing as an actor that I always assumed I would do. And yet there weren't many of them for a while. And so then when I saw this resurgence, I was like, oh, I would love to get to do one. And then it so happens that this was the perfect one that came up. Jonah Feingold was super passionate about it, and we had a chat. And then I read with Diego Boneta, and he's so lovely. And it all just made so much sense and worked. And then on top of that, we got to film in Mexico and like meet one of the best crews I've ever worked with. So it was great.
I was going to ask about Mexico because when I talked to Jonah, we both realized we live in New York. As why I'm in a sweatshirt is because it is so cold in New York today. And like he said, he was like, that was one of the best things to leave in cold New York and just go to Mexico and film this movie.
Yeah.
And so, how was it kind of being on location like that and filming a movie there that it is such a part of the story?
Yeah, well, I'm kind of a workaholic, so like I love New York, and I don't take a lot of like often a vacation for me will be going to New York and like seeing shows. So I don't often take time away in beautiful tropical areas. So it's kind of nice to merge work with a bit of like a vacation quality. And I mean, I was just pinching myself. It was just, and Jonah too. We would be like, "Is this real life?" Like it just the most magical settings. We stayed and shot in a beautiful hotel, and everyone, Diego's entire family was there, and they're the best hosts. And Natalia is a producer, and like the production team was like all good friends. It just we kept kind of forgetting we were working, I think, and we all love what we do so much. It's like how else would we even want to spend our time there? It was pretty epic.
And like what I really liked about this movie is where there are so many movies where someone is in a big budget superhero movie and they like hate it, but she doesn't, and you can tell she cares about her character, and so it's different. And we're actually watching someone who like is like, no, like I feel like I can do more than they're letting me. For you, is that something that's important because you are part of a bigger franchise, but you're also like you're a great actress, and so is it fun for you to play that part of your character and find that balance where she is just trying to do the best she can?
Yeah, well, thanks first off, but the yeah, we talked a lot about that. Like the impulse would be to sort of like make fun of the superhero thing, and it has its campiness, but we wanted it to be somebody who didn't hate her job, just the circumstances had gotten away from her, which was a really like hard specific thing to kind of nail down because I think the obvious most easy thing is like I hate that, I'm going towards this, but we wanted someone who really independently loved her career and had passion for acting, and that's why she's here. And like, you know, in no way does Alejandro Diego's character like take away from that, but if anything he encourages it even more and admires that in her, that she loves it, and really loves her for being herself. That was like very important to all of us, that she doesn't like give up the career to be with the guy or give up one guy just to be with the other, like that it's this
Mhm.
whole swirling identity process. So
Yeah, and it comes across like like I, as someone who I'm a huge superhero nerd, I was like, oh, I like that she's not being mean about superhero
yeah,
movies,
because a lot of people are
which
stoked to do these jobs, like I guess in
yeah.
the seventh one you get a little bit like, okay, this again. But like, and the suits are can be uncomfortable and all that, but it's like it's a great, cool job. And you can tell too with the really good ones that people like are enjoying their time there,
Mhm.
you know?
Yeah, and it's I love this movie a lot. I think it's such a good rom-com. It's such a great return to form. And I can't wait for audiences to get to see it. So thank you so much for talking with me today.
Thank you. Nice
Have
meeting
a
you.
great